Okay, let's take a look at the mixer section. Obviously, we have some faders in front of us, and we know what to do with those. I want to take a look at this strip right here, though, first, because this is a great way to organize your faders when you're tracking or mixing. What I love about it is you can see exactly what you want to see on the Faderport 8. So, for instance, obviously, these are audio tracks, and you can see what audio tracks are up here in the display. But maybe I just want to see my virtual instruments, VI. So now, here's all of my virtual instruments right here. I'm a big busing guy, and then I like to bus all my tracks to a selected bus and then maybe to a sub to the master. So if I want to mix in using stems or buses, this is a great way to mix too. So for instance, here's all my drums, leads, here's rhythm guitars, drums, some bass. Or I could look at it right through virtual instruments. So here's my drums, Superior 3. If I want to just deal with all my audio, here's all my audio tracks. One imprint, for instance, is the rhythm guitar. Of course, standard solo and mute, but again, it's very fast. And of course, one of my favorite kind of tracks are VCA tracks that can control the volume and different information of other tracks. So I have one VCA for all of my buses. And so I always keep a VCA on the amalgamation of all my buses, because then if things are getting too hot, then I can bring all the buses down as not to overload the master. So for instance, so now I'm not touching the master, but I'm just bringing all my buses of different instruments up and down on this VCA. And of course I only have one VCA, so I have one track. If I want to look at just my outputs, shift, outputs. Or maybe you have a bunch of different inputs coming in, and you want to know where a certain signal is coming in from. You would shift, and you go right to input. So very easy, very intuitive, and it's a very clean way to work for me, because sometimes I don't want all these tracks and I have to bank through everything, and it's I can see what I want to see when I want to see it. So normally if I'm mixing, once I get everything together in the audio section and maybe the virtual instruments section, then I just bus those to some aux tracks, and then I can actually mix with a stem approach. So it's a great way to go. All right, let's take a look at this upper section, because there's a lot of magic going on in this section. First of all, if you hit arm, you could arm any track or disarm any track, just you get the recording going there. There's no dedicated pan knobs per channel, but PreSonus actually did something even cooler than that. So if you select a track, let's say this bass track, and you hit pan right here, so you have some options that you can do. So one, you have this encoder knob over here, and you'll see that as I turn it, it goes left and right. And if I press down on it, it detents and it centers it again. But a lot of magic going on right here, because it also gives you the pan on the fader, which is really nice. So as you go, you can get all your pans, and you can see at a glance what everyone is doing pan-wise. And I'm going to just center these back out here, just by having a quick look there. So that's a really nice feature. It really makes things work fast for me. I use sends a lot, whether they're going to be sends for effects or sends for headphones. In any case, I use the send feature a lot in my DAW. So what you'll do is select a track and just hit send. So now you'll see, this is the bass track. I have two sends on this. One is effects 1 and one is effects 2. So I can adjust the levels of those sends, and if you can see on the screen, it's going on right there. It is adjusting that. Or you could take kind of a macro view of it, so to speak, and I can hit the sends button one more time. Now I can see a layout of all the different tracks that have that are sharing that effects 1 send, and I can just adjust whatever I need. And of course, another hit on the sends. Now I'm in effects 2. So it's so easy to use these send features, especially with on the Faderport 8, and get really quick headphone mixes. If I'm working with some people in the studio, they need phones, I could dial in something really, really quick, and we're off and recording. So pan sends, the track feature. You see you have a nice readout of what's getting signal right there. Love it.